I'm building an old vintage Trans Am to be a completely reliable touring car. And I'm building it for the most iconic road trip in all of America. And that, my friends, is Route 66. I'm gonna do it from start to finish, starting in Chicago, driving all the way down to Santa Monica. We're calling it the Shakedown Show. And every night we have an old classic car meetup, and anybody's allowed to join us, whether they wanna ride along for one day or the trip in its entirety. And in preparation for this trip, I've been doing all kinds of modifications to my car. Suspension, a new Terminator X ECU from my friends over at Harley, performance parts and comfort parts galore. And this Shakedown Show is super important to me. So I thought, let's take a test ride to Daytona Bike Week and see if there's any problems that we absolutely have to address before we get on this tour, because I want to make the Shakedown Show from start to finish without any major breakdowns. I want to document this in video for all of you who can't attend. So I jumped in my car, pulled out of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and the Route 62 Motor Resort, and headed east for Daytona. Okay, so I'm freaking out here. We are about, I don't know, 8-9 hours into the trip. I'm in Birmingham, Alabama, in pretty much gridlock traffic. I broke free just for a minute here where I could grab my camera. But if you look at my temperature gauge, I'm reading, about 180, which is perfect. But when you look at my thing here, I'm at 143, 144, and it's gone up to almost to 160, which is like below my engine temperature. I think I need a new radiator hose. But I keep getting stuck like this, and I just watch that temperature. I just watch it creep up. It's red either way. But this one's only reading 180, and it's because I got an air pocket in there. I know that. And I just didn't realize I had a temperature gauge on that Terminator. So I've just been looking at my gauge off my thermostat, and it's been reading fine. So I haven't been worried. And now I just realized I've got this gauge over here, and I'm like, oh Lord, we're running hot. We gotta go fix this hose. I'm worried I'm gonna blow my engine right here in the middle of Birmingham. When you get stressed, man, it just comes from all angles, doesn't it? God dang it. Good O'Reilly's right there, and a nice big parking lot I can work in. This may be my saving grace. Let's see what we got going on here. Never fails, man. Half the fun of a road trip, though, isn't it? What we got is this tube that we put on the other night in the last minute. It's got too much elevation, which we knew, and it caused an air pocket. But I thought it was okay until I saw that other gauge on there. So, okay, I gotta let this thing cool down. So I'm gonna lock it up and leave it here in this parking lot with all my stuff. Go get a bite to eat, let it cool down, come back, swap that hose, hopefully get rid of that air bubble, which I knew better. I was shocked that it was working. You know what I mean? I was like, how is this even working? That doesn't even make sense. But I thought, oh well, it must just be cooling it enough and have enough push on that pump to make it work. No. I don't know. Do you think my thermostat gauge was not working right, or do you think that other one's just reading a hot pocket? Either way, it had me freaked right out. And it had to be 5 o'clock rush hour traffic in Birmingham, Alabama. Oh man, they're not open. Ethiopian Mediterranean? I don't know that I've ever eaten Ethiopian. Looks like the only thing to eat around here. I guess we'll give it a shot. Nope, they're not open either. No luck. I found something. This is half the fun, y'all. I got a feeling the food's authentic. And now it's getting dark, but my engine should at least be cool. You guys should see the wall apart. Can I take them back there and show them? Look at. So this is the wall of radiator hoses. And Billy and I went through this whole bin of hoses trying to find something that would fit. So Billy helped me totally figure this thing out. I would have had a hard time without him. And we must have brought 5 or 6 different hoses out here. Tried them, talked about cutting them, talked about splicing them. Went through all the scenarios, gave me a flashlight because, well, I'm dark. I got to give some love out to O'Reilly's on this one, man. You guys saved my day on my trip down to Florida for Daytona Bike Week. Now you see how that fits right alongside that bracket there. That's going to be so much better. You just got to go through 100 of them because, you know, it's not something, it's custom, right? It's It's not something you can just put the part in and pull a part up. You gotta sit and trial and error. We're running. I think we're gonna stay quite a bit cooler. It's crazy how those two are reading so different, Lo. All right, I'm ready to get to a hotel. We'll hit it again in the morning. Morning came and the car was still riding beautifully, but I had to make a stop before we hit Daytona in Orlando. There was a motorcycle accident summit happening there, and I was hired to come speak to attorneys about how to best represent us out there on the road. All right, we have arrived at our destination. We got a valet, $53 a day for valet, and there's no other parking besides valet. But you'll see why here in a minute. This place is super nice. It's called the Conrad Orlando. When you walk in, look at this view. This is stop number 1. We're in Orlando, obviously, for a motorcycle accident summit. Basically, I'm gonna talk with a bunch of attorneys about how to best represent motorcyclists should they be in an accident. Look at this view. What a cool building. Oh man. So they do this event once a year, and they bring all these attorneys in together, talk about the best ways to service the community. Of course, my friends the Law Tigers are always part of this campaign, and they're always attending this as a sponsor. Now I'm gonna take you to introduce you to one of my friends. If you happen to be an old school from my channel, you may recognize her. She used to run my K River campground. Now she runs the marketing department for the Law Tigers, and she should be right in here. Come in, she says. Ooh, how about this room?
Hi!
What is up, lady?
I had to YouTube how to use a curling iron because
that is a very fancy curling iron.
First time in my life, and it has quit 3 times.
Is that yours or is it the hotel's?
I bought it for this. Yeah. Hug.
Good to see you, lady.
I know, I missed you.
Good to see you. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put you all on hold while I catch up with my friend, and I'll be back with you shortly. When I entered into the actual summit, it was a pretty nice setup. They had a bunch of cool motorcycles built by Paul Yaffe on display, and people were just gathering, sharing different information. There were some vendors there, and then there was a stage where people like myself would do presentations to the attorneys. And then at night, everybody just gathered and had happy hours. It was actually a really enjoyable event. From there, we were eastbound to Daytona, and the motorcycle traffic started picking up drastically. And eventually I pulled into Destination Daytona, which was absolutely packed. It's the home of Teddy Morris's Daytona Harley Davidson, and also the home of all the best vendors in Daytona Bike Week. From here, I'm gonna go pick up a Harley Davidson motorcycle, ride it around Daytona for a couple days, and you'll have to follow the next videos to see how Daytona Bike Week went for me.